Noodle, he'll be doing the catching. He'll be batting 7th. In the 8th spot, covering right field, is Adolis Garcia. Justin Crawford will be covering center field. He'll be batting 9th. And on the mound, making his 13th start of the season, a 6-2 record, one.
Fighting my temptations, building up, I'm anxious. I know he wanna get me all up in his room. Look at me over now, you're surprised, 'cause I put on a show on my first ride. I'm seeing it so clear, you and me right there, sitting contemplating taking off your suit. Let me ask this question one time. Think you got this on your first try? We can play cat and mouse all day. Do you catch it by the tail like Bray? Can you chase it down something like Jerry? Do you think I'm a load you can carry us? So don't you forget, gotta give it to me. Leaving me just with a tease. I want you to cry for me. Need you to yearn for me. Let the passion take me right over the moon. Ain't nothing throwing me off my high.
Down at the knees. We'll see how it goes tonight.
Is the National League Pitcher of the Month for May. 5 games and a 0 ERA. First pitch on the way. Fernando takes outside, ball 1. It was a sinker, and 95, and we are underway. So 44 and 2/3 consecutive innings without allowing a run for Sanchez, including, as we said, the 7 in his last start at Petco Park. The 1-0 pitch. Tatis lifts up the hands, takes a strike on the inside edge, and the count evens up 1-1. The next guy sort of on his list, if you will, is Bob Gibson. You remember 1968, the so-called year of the pitcher. They had to lower the mound in 1969 because pitchers were so dominant in 1968. The 1-1, Fernando fouls it off himself in the batter's box, 1-2. And with 3 scoreless innings tonight, Sanchez would pass Bob Gibson in 1968 for the 5th longest scoreless inning streak in Major League history. That's who's in his sights here this evening.
Jesse, anytime you're talking about Hall of Famers like Bob Gibson, you know you're in some pretty special company.
1-2. Fernando swings and misses, strike 3. There's the changeup, 1 away in the top of the first inning.
Excellent use of the sinker to start things off. I'm really curious to watch what he did in the last outing, Jesse, is he was not afraid to throw changeups the first pitch of an at-bat facing a guy. Normally that's taboo. You're thinking, what are you changing up against? But he used it very effectively in the Padres the first time through the lineup. Second time through, he started to throw the slider a little bit more, but sinker changeup, man, it's a vicious combination that he uses.
Now Miguel Andujar, right-handed batters. Sanchez first pitch to him is fouled back, 0-1. Andujar in his career against Sanchez, 4 out of 9, but 0 for 3 against him last week. And some of the other Philly pitchers, they say, when they watch Sanchez in the bullpen in between starts and they look at the data on that changeup, it basically moves like a sweeper from right-hander. That's how much action it has on it, which is just something that almost doesn't compute. Here's the 0-1, and Andujar swings and misses at the changeup, 0-2.
Yeah, when you look at it, 39 inches of drop, that's 6 more than average, Jesse. It's got some good movement on it as well. The sinker, as you mentioned, 8 inches more vertical action than most sinkers have. I mean, those pitches alone in and of themselves are elite. In fact, he's the only pitcher in Major League Baseball that has 2 such offerings. It's ranked in the top 10 of all pitches in all of Major League Baseball. And the way that he tunnels them, make them look like the same pitch, is devastating.
0-2, and Andujar takes low, 1-2 strikes. Phillies in their home white pinstriped uniforms. Padres have switched it up. They wore the brown tops yesterday and the brown and sand visiting pinstripes here this evening. 1 out, nobody on, just underway at Citizens Bank Park. It is a warm but comfortable evening here in southeastern Pennsylvania. A ball and 2 strikes to Andujar. Sanchez delivers, and that one is inside out and foul above the Philly dugout on the right side. Game time temperature, 83 degrees, brought to you by Lineage Watch Company, San Diego's very own watch brand and the official timepiece of the Padres radio network. Elevate your style today at lineagewatchco.com. That's lineagewatchco.com. 1-2, the pitch. Andujar reaches for it, grounds it up the middle. Long way to go, Stott. Second baseman backhands it. Throw to first is in time. Bang, bang at first base. For now, Andujar is out on a great play by Stott, but the Padres holding it up to see if they want to challenge the call at first base, and they will. Call was made by the crew chief, Vic Carapazza, and we are about to hear from him. Maybe not, but they are going to challenge it. Microphone no good, but the Padres will challenge the out call at first base.
A little too much static on that mic, huh, Jess?
Dave says it is an RF frequency issue. That's what he has passed along from his perch behind us.
He's the expert. Get a chance to take a look at it on the replay. From that first view, Jesse, looks like he might have beaten it out. Great play by Stott, though, going way up the middle. Off-balance throw, threw it right on line.
Thing that would concern me from the Padre perspective is that Andujar came down kind of on the center of the base as opposed to the front of the bag. And anytime that happens, you're sort of costing yourself a little bit of time. Just takes you longer to get there. But it's as close as it gets. And I think he might have beaten it out, as he said, though.
Just barely. Just barely. He made a good point. It wouldn't have been as close had he got the front part of the bag.
It's what you're trying to do, and of course, far easier said than done. You just put your head down and running as fast as possible.
Exactly. I mean, you're just going as hard as you can. I mean, you practice it all the time, right?
Call on the field stands per the lip reading of the first base umpire, and Andujar is out, and the Padres have lost their challenge here in the top of the first inning, and this 2026 trend of the umpires in the replay command center in New York City just refusing to overturn close calls will continue. Wow. So base is empty, 2 outs, and it'll be Manny Machado.
Worthy challenge, though, Jess.
Yeah. You look safe. First pitch on the way, and Manuel swings, tips it into the mid of the catcher, Real Muto, 0-1. Machado 3 out of 14 in his career against Sanchez, but last week just missed twice against him. Sent a couple to the warning track, including one that Justin Crawford made a great catch on in right center field. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It will take, and a fastball strike on the inner third that is going to be challenged. That's an ABS review. Hunter Wendelstedt, tonight's home plate umpire, the third most challenged umpire in the majors this year. And Manny will lose this ABS review. Just clipped the inside edge. And I mean just clipped the inside edge. So Machado is in at 0-2 hole. And he and Wendelstedt sharing a little bit of a chuckle, I presume, about just how close that was. 0-2 from Sanchez. Here's the pitch. And Manny takes outside, ball 1.
You know, just the fact that the Padres have already used a challenge, they've already burned up an ABS at this point, just sort of gives you some sort of indication of the sort of pressure that you feel to try to take advantage of anything you can against Sanchez at any point in the game.
No doubt. 1-2. Manny swings, grounds it to shortstop. Routine for Trey Turner. He'll gobble it up, step towards first, and the throw is in time. At a 1-2-3, top of the first inning. So another notch on the belt of Christopher Sanchez, a scoreless first. And nothing doing with the Phillies coming up against Walker Buehler on the Padres Radio Network.
Yeah. Now it's you gotta talk to. Just look how far it brought you. Went from breaking laws to taking lawsuits. Thought I had a shot, but it was just an offshoot. With extra gas to take me off route. I'm like, you kidding me? I'm trying to make a little money, flee the coast, get fat and old in Italy. Is that too much to ask? But I guess asking was the issue. Can't be shaky with what you commit to. Hard to paint the bigger picture when they artificial. All throughout humanity, you know the cards against you. But we still play. Getting wilder till this day. Dows of fury, that's word of Deontay. It's been a calm day, but the trauma got me thinking about the storm tomorrow. They don't know what comes in, they just see what comes out. They don't know what gets lost, they just see what they found. You got it all? How much it cost you? You bound to fall, them demons caught you. Hey, yeah. Hey, you bound to fall, them demons caught you. Hey, you got it all?
So the Padres went in order against Christopher Sanchez in the top of the first, and now Schwarber, the Major League's home run leader, up against Buehler here in the bottom of the first inning. 22 home runs on the season with a .231 average. He's driven in 39. Checks his swing, takes a cutter high. 1 ball and 1 strike from Buehler, who got off to a bumpy start this year. A .564 ERA in his first 7 starts of the season, but in his last 4 starts, a .380 ERA. Here's the 1-1. Schwarber swings, fouls it back towards us, strike 2, and a guy that just looks far more comfortable.
No question about it, Jesse. And not only the ERA better, but he's gone deeper into the games. And truth be told, if he'd gotten a little bit of run support in a couple of those ball games as well, probably could have gone even deeper. So Walker's looked stronger and stronger each outing.
Ball and 2 strikes. The pitch. Schwarber takes right down the middle, top of the zone. Strike 3 called. Looking for something other than the fastball, but the fastball's what he got. 1 down here in the bottom of the first.
Really well located sinker right here. And this was the pitch that he used very effectively against the Phillies last time, Jesse. It was sinkers, cutters, and 4-seam fastballs. And this is a front hip sinker that Schwarber thinks is going to be inside. It just catches execution.
So 1 out, nobody on for Trey Turner. And the pitch from Buehler right down the middle for a strike, 0-1. Trey Turner probably not thrilled that he's catching Buehler twice in a week. 0 for 18 against him in his career with 5 strikeouts. 0 for 2 last week. There is no pitcher Turner has seen more and never had a hit against. Breaks his bat here, grounds it to short. Backhanded by Bogarts. Long throw to first is high, but handled by France, who stepped backwards into foul territory to get the out, 2 away. And Turner now 0 for 19 against Walker Buehler in his career.
Really nice located cutter this time on the outside corner. Turner trying to get to it, but it just runs off the end of his bat. The bat breaks in half. Nice play by Bogey. Going deep in the hole, the high throw, really well played by Ty France also. You know, if you go forward to try to get that, the ball's going to be too high. Your best bet is to go behind the base, give yourself a little bit on the back end of that arch, played perfectly.
Now Bryce Harper, and he'll take down and in, ball 1. 2 outs, nobody on, scoreless in the bottom of the first inning here in Philly. Harper, 4 out of 8 in his career against Walker Buehler. And all 4 hits have gone for extra bases, a homer and 3 doubles. 1-0, Harper takes. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Harper last week, though, against Buehler, 0 for 2. Struck out 1 time, grounded into a double play the other time. Harper having a nice season. Played in his 60th game of the year last night. To a pitch, he takes low, 3-0, hitting .262, 14 homers, and 36 runs batted in. Hit a 2-run homer in yesterday's game, also walked, and would score the deciding run in a 3-2 Philly victory. Buehler behind him, 3-0. Walker will kick and deliver, and he misses high and outside, ball 4. So against a guy who's had some success against him, a 4-pitch walk here with 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning, and now Brandon Marsh will come to bat. And boy, Brandon Marsh just kept at it last night. 4 for 4, 4 singles, a stolen base, his second 4-hit game of the year, and he's hitting .332 as he comes into the night tonight.
Yeah, these two didn't face each other in the previous game. Jesse, Marsh got the day off.
Left-handed hitter, first pitch on the way, and a fastball, strike 96 inside part of the plate, 0-1.
That's a good sign. That's on the 4-seam fastball, and we know when Walker has confidence in that 4-seam fastball, Jesse, he does such a great job of setting up that cutter and sinker.
Harper at first, 2 outs, and a foul ball back out of play, 0-2 on Brandon Marsh, who's got the highest batting average of any Philly through 60 games this century. Got to go back to 1999, the last time they had a guy with at least a .332 average, 60 games into the season. 0-2. The pitch. Marsh swings, rolls over, grounds it foul, and back to first base coach Paco Figueroa. Count remains no balls, 2 strikes.
You know, Jesse, the home run has really been one of the weapons the Phillies have used very effectively in these first 4 games against the Padres. But Walker Buehler's the only starter for the Padres that has not allowed a long ball against the Phillies. He was really brilliant through 5 1/3 last time.
The 0-2 pitch is way high. Ball and 2 strikes to Marsh. 332 average, second in all of baseball. Harper at first base with 2 outs. No score here in inning number 1. 1-2 to Marsh. Fidgety in that left-handed box. The pitch from Buehler, way high again. Otto Lopez of the Marlins, the only guy coming into play today with a higher batting average. He and Xavier Edwards with the Fish, both hitting like crazy here. First couple of months of the season. 2-2 now to Marsh. Pitch coming. And a line drive into right field, base hit. Brandon Marsh keeping at it. Harper going to go first to third. Bowen's throw comes into second base. First hit of the night for the Phillies. And with 2 outs here in the first inning, they've got runners on the corners and Alec Bohm coming to bat.
That's got to be a frustrating.
Bohm hitting .206, 6 homers, 24 RBIs. 0 for 4 yesterday, grounded into a pair of double plays. One of them, though, did bring home what turned out to be the winning run. First pitch to him, a little bit, called a strike. Hunter Wendelstadt, the plate umpire, has got one of the largest zones of any umpire. And took a moment to think about it, and then called it a strike. It's probably outside, but Buehler will take it. 0-1, the pitch. Bohm takes low and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Bohm had reached safely 14 consecutive games against the Padres until last night, so they ended that streak. Parts of 7 years now for the 29-year-old from Omaha. 1-1 pitch is low, 2 balls and a strike. Alec Bohm and Matt Waldron have known each other since they were about 9 years old. Couple Nebraska kids making good in the big leagues. First and third, 2 outs. Bottom of the first inning, no score here in Philly. The pitch. And Bohm swings, pops it up mile high into right field. Bowen started back, now in, over towards the line. He's there, and he'll make the 2-handed catch to retire the side. No runs, a hit. Phillies leave him at the corners. And to the second at Citizens Bank Park. No score on the Padres Radio Network.
But his are so elite. The slider is no joke either. And again, because he uses them all down in the zone, so it looks like the exact same pitch until the very end, that's what makes him so tough.
Here's Ty France, 2 outs, nobody aboard. He takes inside, ball 1. So you put it all in the hopper.
Yeah.
And it adds up to, well, at this point, close to 50 consecutive scoreless innings.
Well, and it's not only the stuff, Jesse. He's been very smart. He's changed his usage over the last, since this year compared to the last couple of years, to make himself even more effective.
A 1-0 pitch. France takes outside, ball 2.
And specifically against the left-handers, using the sinker a little bit more, throwing the changeup a little bit less. Against right-handers, the exact opposite, throwing the changeup a little bit more. So not only good stuff, but he's being smart out there.
2-0 pitch. France will look, and a fastball at the knees for a called strike, 2-1.
That's 96 at the knees. I mean, that's filthy. As a batter, you know you can't do any damage with that pitch at all. You just have to take it. Now you're down in the count, or even if you're in the driver's seat in that situation, you can't do anything with that pitch.
Here's the 2-1, and France with a big swing, just able to top it foul towards Merrill in the on-deck area, 2-2.
As I said, almost very, very few mistakes does he make with that changeup. Very rarely does he miss location with it. Same with the slider. The sinker, however, is the pitch that you can sometimes do damage on. Opponents hitting .319 on that pitch.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch on the way. France swings. It's a ground ball to shortstop. Big hop for Trey Turner. He's got it. And the throw to first is in time. 6 up, 6 down for Christopher Sanchez to begin his night. Middle of the second, no score in Philly. And now here's what's happening at Valley View Casino and Hotel, San Diego's favorite. His last 24, and he'll take a fastball strike 95 from Bueller, 0-1. Stat of the day brought to you by Culligan Water of San Diego, providing advanced water treatment solutions, including softeners, filters, and bottled water. The 1 pitch is outside. Ensuring cleaner, safer, and great tasting water for homes and businesses since 1936. Well, we have mentioned a couple of times that the games this year between these two teams have all been very similar. Tight, low scoring, and Philly wins. Check swing, but he went around. And a strike, 1-2 now to stop. And if you do the math, in the 4 games they have played head-to-head this year, the teams have combined total to score 18 runs. That's remarkable. They're averaging together 4.5 runs per game. Here's the 1-2 pitch, high and outside. And so, I mean, yesterday, 3-2 actually went beyond the average total runs scored for the two teams head-to-head this year.
It's really incredible that both of these offenses, which were expected to do all kinds of damage, neither one has.
2-2, and Stott fouls away left side.
I mean, it's really come down to some home runs by the Phillies. They've out-homered the Padres in a couple of these games. Yesterday was a leadoff walk and a seeing eye single that was the difference in the ball game. I mean, these have all been really close contests.
After last night, Padres fell to 15th in the National League in runs per game. Phillies 14th. Here's the 2-2. Stott swings, pops it up into shallow left field. Sheets ambling in. He'll get to the spot. And in a big shadow out there, Gavin reaches up to make the one-handed catch for the first out in the bottom of the second inning. And it is a total shock when you look at both of these lineups, obviously, that it's kind of played out the way it has. And I would imagine on both sides, they're thinking, all right, well, it can only go up from here.
You would think, right? I mean, if you're the Phillies, you got to believe that Trey Turner's not going to be hitting 227 all season long. They're lucky that they're still getting the home run production from Schwarber. They're still getting some long ball production out of Harper as well. Marsh has done a nice job. So not blanks everywhere.
Here's Real Muto. First pitch swinging. Sharp grounder to third. Manny's got it. Behind the back at the line. Long throw to first is in time, 2 away. Machado perfectly positioned and then perfectly executed on the backhand right near the foul line for the second out here in the second inning.
You know what else was perfectly executed was that pitch by Walker Buehler. Look, Jesse, I'm going to say here in the early going, this is the best stuff that we've seen coming out of the hand of Walker Buehler this year. Fastball's pumping at 96, good hard cutter at 93, and that sinker at 93 on the hands as well. 3 good weapons tonight.
Base is empty, 2 outs for Adolis Garcia. He takes 95 for a strike, 0-1.
On a sinker. I mean, normally that's the tops of his 4-seam fastball. That's the 2-seamer that he's rushing up there at 95 tonight.
Garcia will use his timeout, maybe just trying to break the rhythm of Buehler here. Walker's got a couple of very quick outs. Needed only 7 pitches to get the first 2 guys. No balls and a strike. Here's the pitch. And Garcia takes way high. 1-1 in a scoreless game, second inning.
Kind of getting back to the lineup issues, though, Jesse. I mean, yes, there are some guys that are producing for the Phillies, but there's enough holes in that lineup that even though those guys are doing well, you can pitch around them effectively if you need to.
1-1. Garcia swings, hits it out to right center field. Merrill into the gap is there, and Jackson will make the catch. Stand to 1-2-3. Bottom of the second. No score in Philly as we head to the third inning on the Padres Radio Network. No scores. Sanchez to Jackson Merrill. First pitch swinging. Jackson cracks it sharply foul under the feet of first base coach David Macias. 0-1. Bowen and Duran to follow. 6 up, 6 down to begin the ninth for Sanchez. Merrill had success against Christopher Sanchez in the game last Wednesday at Petco Park. He and Tatis both had 2 hits against him. not so much for everybody else. Here's a swing and a miss at a slider. 0-2. Merrill had a double and a single in 3 trips against Sanchez. And certainly the way he's throwing the ball, that is quite the impressive afternoon.
It really was, and it wasn't as one of those situations where, oh yeah, Jackson had a great couple of games before that and was feeling good. No, it looked like it might be a mismatch coming into the ball game.
0-2 pitch is outside.
But Jackson did a great job. They tried throwing sinkers in on his hands in the first plate appearance. They were staying in there, and Jackson finally said, okay. He stayed inside one, and he lined one opposite field. It was vintage Jackson Merrill plate appearance, and then later stays back and is able to keep a changeup fair. So that was one of his, really, I hope it's a turning point in the season for him.
1-2 pitch is muscled out to short and falling forward. Turner able to catch it on a line as he put the glove down on the dirt to make the play. 1 down.
Went back to that sinker inside on the hands. Jackson tried to stay inside of it, did a good job of it. Just a nice diving play by Turner for the first out.
No score, top of the third, 1 out, nobody on. Jace Bowen will be the batter. Made his major league debut last night, starting in left field. Went 1 for 4. First major league hit was a 1-out single in the 7th inning. First pitch coming, and he bunts up the third baseline, but foul.
Jesse, it was so cool. Last night, I happened to go out and find a bite to eat, and he and his family were in the restaurant where I walked into, and just talking to Jace for a moment. First of all, just the joy that his family had of celebrating him being in the big leagues. But that first hit, that was a big thing, Jesse. And Jace was talking about it, saying, you know what, I'm so glad I got that out of the way early because now I can just relax.
No balls and a strike, and Bowen will take strike 2, top of the zone.
That's the thing. You know, when you get up here, it's one thing to get here, but then you want to perform. And, you know, to get that first hit under your belt, you can just really take a sigh of relief and say, okay, let's get it on.
Behind 0-2 against Sanchez. The pitch on the way. Bowen takes downstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So now here you are in your second career game as a major leaguer, and you're facing a guy whose up-to-date ERA is 1.43 and has not allowed a run in 46-plus innings. 1-2 is the count. The pitch on the way. Bowen swings and misses strike 3. As good of a changeup as he's thrown tonight. Third strikeout for Sanchez. 2 down in the 3rd inning. Duran coming up. And Sanchez now 1 out away from moving past Bob Gibson for the 5th longest scoreless inning streak of all time.
Well, Jace Bowen said he wanted to be in the big leagues. He wanted to face the best of the best. Well, he just faced the best of the best. That might be the best changeup he's ever seen in his life right there for the strikeout.
Duran, a right-handed batter. First pitch coming. And he will take a strike at the bottom of the zone. 0-1. In 1968, the year of the pitcher, Bob Gibson had 47 consecutive scoreless innings. With an out here, Sanchez would move beyond that. 0-1 is lined the other way and just foul up the first base line. So it's 0-2 on Duran. Sanchez is at the ready. Now the 0-2 pitch, and Duran takes low. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Good take on the changeup. One of those minor moral victories in the middle of a plate appearance. If you don't chase that changeup, you kind of feel a little bit more confident in yourself.
The 1-2. Duran takes low again. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2, Duran takes down and in ball 3. So Rodolfo Duran here, just a few weeks into his major league career, fell behind 0-2 against Sanchez and has now filled the count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs and nobody on in the 3rd inning. No Padre has reached base yet. Here's the payoff pitch. Duran takes down and in ball 4, a 2-out walk. That will keep the inning going for Fernando Tatis Jr.
Wow, what a nice plate appearance. As you mentioned, Jesse fell behind 0-2 and then takes 4 consecutive changeups. The first one I thought was the nastiest of them. And then after that, Sanchez came out with a couple of more, but they were not quite as competitive. You could really see that they were down, but kudos to Rodolfo for being able to recognize those changeups and not chase.
Tatis struck out his first time. He will take the fastball strike at 95-0-1. So Sanchez just walked a guy hitting .087 to have to face Fernando, who's 7 for 15 against him in his career and had 2 hits against him last Wednesday at Petco. 0-1. Sanchez kicks and delivers. Tatis spins away from an inside fastball. Count is even. 1 ball, 1 strike. Obviously working with a man aboard for the first time here tonight. Rod held on by Harper at first. 1-1 to Tatis. Sanchez delivers, and Fernando swings and misses at a slider. It's 1-2. Sanchez ready from the third base side of the rubber. The pitch. Fernando swings, bangs it on the ground up the middle, handled by Turner, flipped to second in time. They force Gerard, and the third inning is over as Christopher Sanchez moves past Bob Gibson, now the 5th longest scoreless inning streak in Major League history. After 2.5, no score in Philly, and now here's what's happening at Valley View Casino and Hotel, San Diego's favorite.
I'm always gonna lift you up. I'm always gonna fill your cup. I'm always gonna be there for you. I'll always show support. I'll always open your door. I'll always make time for you. Always, always, always for you. I'll always make you laugh. I'll always check your math. I'll always look out for you. I'm always gonna take the heat. I'm always gonna save you a seat. I'm always gonna keep it real with you. Always, always, always for you. Always means all the days. Even if things feel sideways. Thick or thin, it's not pretend. Got your back until the end. Even when the
Pitch on the way, and Schwarber will look at a 96-mile-an-hour fastball for strike 1.
As I mentioned earlier, I think this is the best stuff that he's had all season, Jesse, but also he is locating it extremely effectively here in the early going.
0-1, the pitch. Schwarber takes down and in. That was the changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitchers will often get asked about facing another pitcher in a situation like this. The 1-1, Schwarber fouls it back on the ground, strike 2. You're going, quote-unquote, up against Christopher Sanchez, who's probably the best pitcher in baseball right now. And they will often kind of poo-poo that away, right, and say, well, I'm not really facing him. I'm facing Kyle Schwarber. I'm facing Bryce Harper. I'm facing Brandon Marsh. 1-2. And Schwarber takes low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. But I've always felt they were probably lying a little bit when they said that.
Yes and no, Jesse. I mean, truthfully, it does not change anything that you're doing on the mound in terms of how you're going to be working guys and how you have to use your stuff, because you're always trying to go out and throw zeros.
2-2 is high.
But to your point, what does change is you realize I have zero margin for error on a game like this. You do realize that, okay, I can't maybe give up 2 or 3 and I'm still going to be okay in this ball game. You realize every single out matters. And so from that standpoint, yeah, a little added pressure, but you hope that it brings out the best in you because you realize, okay, I've got to bear down from the very first pitch. Does it change how I'm working these guys? No. Does it change my focus in terms of not getting lackadaisical anything? Absolutely.
3-2 to Schwarber with 1 out, nobody on. Scoreless game in the third and a hard hit grounder foul at first base. We do it again. Schwarber yesterday 0 for 2. He had a regular walk, an intentional walk, and a strikeout. Phillies went digging around because yesterday was their 60th game of the season. So they said, all right, well, who else has done what he's done through the first 60 games? 3-2 pitch. Schwarber takes on the inside corner. Strike 3 called. Second time Buehler has tricked him with a fastball, and 2 away here in the third inning.
Again, the same pitch that he got him with last time, Jesse. That sinker inside. He's got such good movement on it and throwing it at 94, 95 miles an hour. Schwarber thinking that it might be another cutter inside off the plate, but no. It changes direction and catches that inside corner. Great job by Walker.
So 2 outs, nobody on. Trey Turner comes in. He lines one foul softly up the first base side. Turner 0 for 1 thanks to a really nice defensive play by both Xander Bogaerts on the front end and Ty France on the back end. Buehler broke his back. Pitch here is taken for a strike quickly. 0-2 on Turner. Now 0 for 19 in his career against Buehler. Boy, Walker's getting it and wanting to give it right back. Having a pitch com issue here might end up suffering a pitch clock violation. And they're going to burn up a mound visit instead. Duran's going to run out and chat with him, get on the same page.
Yeah, at first Walker was shaking him off. Then he pointed to his pitch com, his ear, saying, I don't have it. And then it did come through, and Walker said, oh, no, I got it. And they were going to make the pitch. And then as you pointed out, Jesse, maybe doing the wise thing by Duran, just saying, you know what, let's not lose a pitch right here. Call the timeout. Let's get reset and make sure that we don't hand over a free ball, especially when we're ahead in the count and a chance to put this inning to rest.
So it's 0-2. The pitch. Turner swings, hits it slowly on the ground to third base. Charged by Manny. He's got it. Throw to first is in time. And a 1-2-3 third for Walker Buehler. Head to the fourth in Philadelphia. No score on the Padres Radio Network. field. Crawford and Marsh are going back. Crawford has room and right in front of the fence in left center. He will reach up, make the catch, one away. That's probably about as much as Sanchez has had to hold his breath at any point in the last month.
Yeah, an off-speed pitch, and Andujar was all over, just a little bit off the end to keep it in the ballpark. You know, Jesse, you look at how dominant that Sanchez has been. It's not that you can't get hits off him. You can. Opponents are hitting 254 this season. Most of these games where he's throwing shutouts, he's giving up 5, 6, 7 hits sometimes, but he doesn't give up runs. He is so tough when he works out of the stretch.
First pitch to Machado is a strike, 0-1.
So it's not that he's unhittable. He's just been unscorable upon over the stretch. It gives you hope when you see a ball like that leave the bat.
He's given up the third most hits in the National League, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
0-1, Manny hits it hard on the ground through the right side, and that is the first of this night. A one-out single for Machado here in the fourth inning. First Padre hit of the game brought to you by Bob's Crane Service. 40 years lifting San Diego. Veteran-owned, family-run, San Diego proud. From ADUs to steel, they lift it all. Bob's Crane Service, ready when it's heavy.
Nice little piece of hitting right there by Manny Machado. The old sinker inner half, able to keep his hands inside and roll it through the right side.
Now it'll be Sheets with a runner on first, one out. Lefty to lefty, of course, and a first pitch sinker for a strike. Here comes the Lumber, brought to you by Dixie Line Lumber and Home Centers. Fix it, build it, enjoy it. No score, top of the fourth inning. Sheets hitting almost 110 points better against righties this year. All 10 home runs have come against righties. But he's in there against Sanchez. Fouls one off his foot in the box. And behind 0-2.
Yeah,
and why not?
Yeah, we know Gavin to be the home run bomber, but to your point, Jesse, not as many, 0 against the lefty so far. And this lefty, by the way, doesn't give up home runs. Only 3 home runs allowed because of his pitching style. Down in the zone, sinkers, changeups, everything working down. Fourth hardest starter in baseball to take the long ball off of.
0-2. And Sheets tried to check on a pitch down. They appeal. He went. According to third base umpire Edwin Moscoso, fourth strikeout of the night for Sanchez. And now 2 away in the top of the fourth inning. Machado at first, and the batter will be Xander Bogaerts. Sanchez preparing to throw his 50th pitch of the night, so he's been very efficient, which is to be expected. That's the thing. I mean, he's not doing it necessarily the old school way, Hershiser, Drysdale, 9 innings every time, but he's not doing it cheaply either. Pitch is high to Bogaerts. 1 ball and no strikes. Obviously, last Wednesday against the Padres, he went 7 innings, and it's been 7, 8, or 9 every time out during this scoreless inning streak. It began technically against the Giants April 30th. He went 6 2/3 in that game. But every complete game he hasn't allowed a run has been 7, 8, or 9. As Bogaerts sends one in the air to right field, deep but playable. Garcia in front of the warning track will reach up, make the catch. And in the inning, no runs, a hit. Machado left at first base. And in the middle of the fourth, no score in Philly on the Padres radio network.
And what's really fun also, Jesse, two very different styles of pitching.
Here's Marsh, 5 for 5 in this series. Singled his first time. He takes inside ball 1.
Got Walker Buehler. He's featuring the four-seam fastballs, cutters, sinkers. He's working up and down, in and out. Whereas with Sanchez, as we've noted several times, mostly down in the zone.
1-0 pitch, line sharply up the middle, caught by Bogarts, falling down at shortstop, made the backhanded catch, and finally, Brandon Marsh makes it out. Good defensive positioning on the infield, 2 away in the bottom of the 4th.
Got jammed. Good cutter in on his hand.
Alec Bohm will stand in. Flew to right field his first time up. Pitch on the way, and Bohm looks at a fastball strike 96 on the outside part of the plate from Buehler. Bohm will now step out, use his timeout. Buehler's got a couple of very quick outs here, just 3 pitches to get 2 outs. So Bohm may be trying to slow things down as much as possible. Give Sanchez a little bit of a breather. Here's the 0-1, and Bohm takes low outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Beautiful, beautiful evening here in South Philly. Still got about 45 minutes of sunlight left, too. Pitch is way inside. Bohm spins away, not hit by the pitch. Although came awfully close, and now 2-1. Buehler holding at the belt. Now he kicks and fires, and Bohm chops one over the mound, charged by Bogarts. He's got it. The throw to first is in time, and a 1-2-3 4th inning for Buehler. Phillies don't get it out of the infield. And to the 5th at Citizens Bank Park. No score on the Padres Radio Network.
Like the stars on can't believe she fell in love with a G. I got heat, if it's up, let it bleed. And girl, you know I love you, love you, love you. I love you, love you, love you. I won't put on when I buy you, buy you, buy you. I love you, love you, love you. Cause you're always so loyal, loyal, loyal. I love you, love you, love you. I won't put on when I buy you, buy you, buy you. And girl, you know I love you, love you, love you. Yeah. 2-step, then we ride out. Rolls Royce like a ghost, we could fly out. Drop top JFK, we don't hide out. Said she only sip mimosas for the vibe now. And I love to keep it soaking when I drown out. And I'ma tell you cause you gorgeous and you mine now. A little fun, she know I hold it down. Like where you going, babe? Just bring that around. Move your body to the beat. Say take it all, you for me. Anytime, anywhere we can leave. You know it's lot in the G63. You're a prize, you're a dime, you're a queen. Like the stars on the roof, you can see. Can't believe she fell in love with a G. I got heat, if it's up, let it bleed. And girl, you know I love you, love you, love you. I love you, love you, love you. I won't put on when I buy you, buy you, buy you. I love you, love you, love you. Cause you're always so loyal, loyal, loyal. I love you, love you, love you. I won't put on when I buy you, buy you, buy you. And girl, you know I love you, love you, love you.
This inning streak. He has moved beyond Bob Gibson's streak of 47 innings from 1968. 5th all time. First pitch to France is up and away, ball 1. Orel Hershiser, of course, has the all-time record, set it against the Padres late in the 88 season, 59 consecutive innings. Don Drysdale, 58 is number 2. 1-0 pitch is down and in, 2 balls and no strikes. And both of those guys had very sort of dramatic, controversial moments that nearly cut off the streaks prior to the historic marks in which they got. And I want to talk about the Drysdale one. Here's the 2-0, and France hits it hard on the ground, up the middle, and into center field, a base hit. Padres add the leadoff guy aboard for the first time tonight. A single for Ty France here in the 5th inning. So as Drysdale was climbing towards 58 innings back in 1968, he was at 44, and he's facing the Giants. And the bases are loaded. Dick Dietz, the catcher for the Giants, is at the dish, and he is hit by a pitch. And that obviously forces in a run, and it's going to end the streak at 44 innings. Here's Jackson Merrill with France at first, and nobody out. The pitch. Jackson swings, pops it out of play left side. 0-1. And so there you go. 44 innings, it's all over. Obviously a nice streak, but certainly not a historic one in terms of the all-time record. But the home plate umpire said, hold everything. Dick Dietz did not try and get out of the way of that pitch. Everybody go back to where you were. Dietz ends up making out, and the streak continued. Pitch on the inside corner, and a strike to Merrill, 0-2. That home plate umpire was the great Harry Wendelstad, whose son, Hunter, is our home plate umpire here tonight.
Crazy story, right, Jess?
Love those baseball connections. France at first, nobody down. 0-2 to Merrill. Pitch from Sanchez, and Jackson takes at the knee, strike 3 call. Number 5 for Sanchez, 1 away here in the 5th.
I remember hearing about that controversial and gutsy call by the umpire not to award that base on the hit batsman as the Oral Hershiser streak was going on. And it turned out that there was an umpire call in his streak also that turned things around, Jeff.
Yeah, double play awarded on a Red Butler slide at second when Butler was playing for the Giants. First pitch to Jace Bowen is in the air to right field. Adolis Garcia, a few steps over to the gap. He'll reach out and make the catch for the second out. Same thing. Run came in to score on a throwaway of a double play attempt at first base, but they ruled it Butler and an illegal slide at second base, which you did not see called all that often in 1988. And that took the run off the board. Both times against the Giants. How fitting. And at first, 2 out for Rodolfo Duran, the Padres' number 9 hitter. First pitch. And Duran hits a little number back towards the mound. Sanchez has got it, spins around, and throws to first in time. Padres get the lead single by France. He does not advance beyond first base. No runs, a hit, and a runner left. We're midway, no score in Philly on the Padres Radio Network. A special theme game package at Padres.com/theme games. Next pitch, swinging, start in the air up the right field line. That'll bang off the wall. Bowen picks it up off the warning track, sends it into second base. Stotts slide headfirst ahead of the tag from Bogarts, and a leadoff double here in the bottom of the 5th inning. That is the first extra base hit of this game, and the Phillies have the leadoff guy aboard for the first time tonight.
One of the few missed locations that Walker Buehler has had so far today. That was a sinker supposed to head to the outside corner. Unfortunately, it leaks towards the middle of the plate. Stotts gives it a ride, but nice job by Jace Bowen to get it in as quickly as he did to make that play close.
So Real Muto to bat with a guy on second, nobody out in a scoreless game. Today's question of the day brought to you by Kaiser Permanente. If you have questions about your health, visit kp.org/San Diego. Kaiser Permanente, a better idea for healthcare. First pitch, and Real Muto takes a fastball strike. Great question from Julie in San Diego, and I bet a lot of people are very curious about this. Julie asks, what information are Padre fielders looking at in their back pockets after an out? 0-1, Real Muto flinches and takes a strike at the knees. He's going to challenge that call. It's called a strike. He thinks it was low. Look good from here, but what do I know? And it's a strike. So the Phillies have lost an ABS challenge. Each team has only one remaining as we play here in the bottom of the 5th inning. It's 0-2 on Real Muto. Yes, sometimes you'll see the guys look at the cards in their pockets. Sometimes it's in their hats. So Julie wants to know what the fielders are looking at. 0-2 the pitch. Real Muto takes low and outside.
So those would be the positioning for each batter that's coming up, depending on who that pitcher is on the mound. So each player has a little card in his pocket, and he can look at it and say, okay, against this batter with this pitcher on the mound, I know that I can play 2 steps towards my right, beyond my normal positioning.
1-2, Real Muto muscles it in the air to center field, straight away and deep. Merrill backing up, and at the edge of the warning track, he'll reach up, make the catch. Stott will tag and advance easily from second to third, 1 away. Productive out number 1. And now the potential first run of the night, 90 feet away here in the 5th inning.
Yeah, to finish up the question right there. So you may notice that when a new pitcher comes in from the bullpen, one of the bat boys will run out to the mound, and he'll actually be handing out new cards for everybody to have so that people have the updated positioning.
Padres are bringing the infield in here against Adolis Garcia. First pitch, foul, back, strike 1.
A lot of early swings in this ball game in general, Jesse, on both sides, and I think that's just another indication of how good this stuff is for both of these pitchers on the mound tonight. Batters not wanting to find themselves deep in the count where they can get punched out.
Garcia using his timeout after that swing. Yeah, the defensive positioning in baseball has become so almost scientific, so precise, and it's part of the reason offense has been suppressed in the last, let's just say, 10 years for the sake of the conversation. 0-1 the pitch. Garcia swings, lines it into deep left center field. Long run. Merrill not going to get there. It's over his head. One hops up against the little wall in center field. Stott easily scores from third. It's an RBI double to Adolis Garcia. And the Phillies have the first run of the night. It's 1-0.
Well, unfortunately, it's been the sinker that's been betraying Walker Buehler this inning. We mentioned the mislocation on the sinker to Bryson Stott, and this is mislocation also, trying to run it in on Garcia, and this one just leaks out over the plate. Garcia able to barrel it up.
A rocket to center field, and obviously not out of trouble yet with a runner on second, 1 away. Justin Crawford, a big swing and a miss, strike 1. Next pitch, Crawford, another big swing. This time he fouls it into the screen behind home plate. So Buehler ahead of him, 0-2. Garcia at second, 1 out, 1-0 Phillies in the 5th. The pitch. Crawford swings and misses. Strike 3, cutter up and in. Third strikeout of the night for Buehler. First one against someone other than Schwarber, who's coming up now with 2 away.
Good execution. He didn't go to the sinkers in that plate appearance, Jesse. It was all cutter and 4-seam fastballs, and he gets the job done. Hey, who's on deck for the Padres in the 6th is brought to you by TimberTech Decking and Railing. Everything wood should be. Visit TimberTech.com. It'll be the top of the order for the Padres. Fernando Tatis Jr., Miguel Andujar, Manny Machado coming up in the 6th inning.
Schwarber, meanwhile, will be intentionally walked. So Trey Turner, who has twice grounded to Bogarts and is now 0 for 20 in his career against Walker Buehler, will bat with 2 on and 2 out. 1-0 Phillies in the 5th inning. First pitch, and Turner swings and misses at a slider way out in front of it, 0-1.
You can see the wheels spinning in Trey Turner's head every time he walks up to the plate against Buehler. He's either swinging at a nasty pitch or he finds himself down the count 0-2. Generally, they've been staying away from him, Jesse. Let's see if they stay out there.
Next pitch, and Turner bounces it slowly towards third. It'll spit foul. No balls and 2 strikes. Trying to limit the damage here. The Phillies have cashed in the lead double. Garcia would double with 1 out. He is still there with 2 down. Schwarber obviously trailing at first. 0-2 on Turner. Buehler is at the ready to pitch. And Turner takes way high. 95-mile-an-hour fastball. And the catcher, Duran, had to come out of his crouch to receive him. Buehler has been very efficient, very effective. 1-2 to Turner, the pitch. And it's popped out of play right side. Coming down behind the Philly dugout all the way back in the 22nd row. Bounces forward into the 18th row. And the count stays 1 ball, 2 strikes. One nothing Phillies here in the 5th, as Bob said, top of the order coming up for the Pods. Here's the 1-2. Turner takes outside. And evens 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Walker's trying to go to the outside corner and freeze him on that sinker away, but again, the sinker a little bit more cut on it than run to the arm side. Pitch has been a little challenging this inning.
Now the 2-2, Turner hits it hard and foul into the second deck, this time above the Philly dugout. This will tie for the longest at bat of the game. 7th pitch. 2-2. Here it comes. Turner takes upstairs. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Jesse's executed the breaking pitch as well this plate appearance. He's had opportunities to try to freeze Turner on fastballs, but he hasn't been able to locate the fastball to get that final strike punch out looking.
Runners will go. The 3-2. Turner swings and misses. Strike 3. Got him to reach for the cutter. And Trey Turner's Walker Buehler problems persist. Phillies get a run on 2 hits, but they leave 2. And after 5 innings, it's now the Phillies 1 and the Padres 0 on the Padres Radio Network. Jr. to face him for the third time, 0 for 2. First pitch on the way, and a changeup drops in. A called strike, 0-1. Padres have just 2 hits so far on the evening. Machado will one-out single in the 4th, and France a leadoff single in the 5th. No balls and a strike from the big left-hander. He will deliver, and Fernando swings and misses. Behind now, 0-2. Little rush hour baseball for you back home. Thanks for making us a part of the commute. Hope it's not too bad. But I bet it is. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And Tatis swings and misses, strike 3. Number 6 for Sanchez. 1 away in the top of the 6th inning. Join the Padres On Deck membership wait list to become a future season ticket member. Enjoy the best access and value on Padre baseball. With memberships currently sold out, this is your chance to secure a spot in line for seats when they do become available. Join today at Padres.com/waitlist. We, of course, hope this makes the commute a little better. Here's Andujar. He'll take, and low ball 1. The ERA has come down now to 1.38 for Sanchez. He's working in the 6th inning, and he's only thrown 63 pitches. Here's the 1-0. Andujar shows bunt, pulls back, and he takes a strike. That got Bohm's attention over at third base. He came running in. Now he makes the U-turn, and he is not buying what Andujar is selling. All the way back at third base. 1-1. Sanchez will deliver. Andujar swings, bangs it on the ground towards third, but that's a foul ball. 1-2.
Interesting, Jesse. We mentioned in the first game, Sanchez used the changeup early and often the first time through the lineup against the Padres. Tonight it's been the opposite. He went with the fastball more often than not early the first time through. Now the second time through, we're seeing a lot of changeups.
1-2, the pitch. Andujar reaches for it, bangs it on the ground up the middle. Turner charges, has the big hop. Throw to first is just in time.
And I said second time, I mean third time through. In other words, he's just working backwards a little bit from what he did previously. The stuff has just been so good, keeping the Padres off balance.
Here comes the Lumber, brought to you by Dixie Line Lumber and Home Centers. Fix it, build it, enjoy it. 2 outs, nobody on. It'll be Manny Machado. 1 out of 2 with a single. Padres down 1-0 in the top of the 6th inning. First pitch from Sanchez, and Manny swings and misses at the changeup, strike 1.
Almost all changeups this inning.
Sanchez has not allowed a run since the first inning, April 30th, against the Giants. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Machado hits it hard but foul the other way up the right field side. And now 0-2.
So amazing about Sanchez also, Jesse. It's not as though he's had that changeup his whole life. He spent most of his young career wanting to be a Aroldis Chapman throwing hard. It wasn't until he got to the big leagues that he realized, I need to have something a little off speed to complement this fastball. Well, here it is.
0-2. Machado again hits it in the air, foul out of play up the right field side. Yeah, this was not a guy that was always going to be something like this. Began his career in the Tampa organization, traded to the Phillies after the 2019 season. Made his major league debut 5 years ago. 0-2. Pitch on the way. And Manny swings and misses, strike 3. Number 7 for Sanchez, who has worked a 1-2-3 6th inning. After 5.5, Phillies 1, Padres 0 on the Padres Radio Network.
came with a pool. I'm out of town, I'm out of state. I just bought a new truck. That's how I do everything. I got a body like glow. Like Bronx, she got her own bag. In the condo, just full of dice. That's a got me up in the pack. My eyes always money on his head. That's why I can't different for the money. That's all I got know. Too many rings like Magic Johnson. Yeah, I know. It's different, it's different. I got a different type of. It's different, it's different. She got a different type of. It's different, it's different. So I'ma spend that on her. It's different, it's different. I can't mess with no chick that's basic. She drank straight down.
But obviously so little, if any, margin for error against Sanchez. Ball low, 1-1 to Harper, who's 0 for 1 with a walk.
Walker's been excellent, Jesse. Really, the only little mistakes that he's had were a couple of sinkers, one to Bryson Scott and the other one to Adolis Garcia. Other than that, he's been excellent.
Harper takes downstairs. 2 balls and a strike. Buehler kicks and fires, and Harper takes high. 3-1 now. Things are starting to happen in the Padre bullpen out in right center field. Ron Marinaccio is loosening up. It is a double-decker bullpen, similar to Petco. 3-1, grounded foul right side. We'll pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Padres radio network.
How would watch the days go by, wasted in blue.
3-2 to Harper, swung on and missed, strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Buehler. He got Turner to end the 5th. Now Harper to start the 6th, 1 down.
Fans, the bottom of the 6th is brought to you by Eco Water SoCal. Not everything in life should be hard, especially your water. Keeping it soft since 1925. Visit EcoWaterSoCal.com or you can give them a call 760-350-3338.
Here's the left-hand hitting Brandon Marsh, 1 out of 2 with a single, and he looks at a fastball strike. 1-0 Phillies here in the bottom of the 6th with 1 out and nobody on. Out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by KMG Psychiatry, who offers TMS. 0-1 the pitch. Marsh fouls it right off the glove hand of the catcher, Durant. TMS, transcranial magnetic stimulation to help veterans and active duty military lift the fog of depression. Honor Service Recovery. Visit KMGPsychiatry.com today. At the Trop, Tigers completed the 3-game sweep of the Rays with a 7-2 win. So if the Yankees win tonight, they'll be tied for first with Tampa Bay. 0-2 pitch is low, and in the Bronx, the Yankees and Guardians are currently 1-1 in the 4th inning. So the Tigers all of a sudden showing some signs of life.
Is it enough to stop the Scooble sweepstakes?
Clock is ticking. Pitch is swung on and missed, strike 3. So now 3 straight strikeouts for Buehler. 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. 1-0 Phillies. Bohm coming to bat.
Got him on the changeup, and that's one of the great things about Walker Buehler's repertoire right now, Jesse. As we mentioned, it's been mostly 4-seamers, sinkers, and cutters, both last game and this game. But he also has the curveball that he can go to. He also has the sweeper that he can go to. He also has the changeup that he can go to. And that's what he busted out for the strikeout here in the 6th.
Here's Bohm. He'll take up and a little bit in, ball 1. Later on in Phoenix, the Dodgers, who are up by 6 in the NL West, will travel to take on the Diamondbacks. Earlier today in Seattle, Mets beat the Mariners 7-1. Seattle's 8-game winning streak came to an end. And a play right side. And a foul ball 1-1 to Bohm. Bo Bichette broke out of an 0 for 16 by going 4 for 4. He drove in 3. Mets will have an off day in San Diego tomorrow before they are hosted by the Padres this weekend. 1-1, Bohm takes outside. Padres.com/tickets to meet the Mets this weekend or the Reds Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. In Milwaukee, Brewers and Giants scoreless in the 2nd. Giants now last place behind Colorado. 2-1 is pretty much down the middle and a called strike 2-2.
That is hard to believe, Jesse. Boy, tough sledding for the Giants this year.
Yes. 2-2 to Bohm. Buehler kicks and fires, and a hard hit grounder right side beyond the dive of France up the line into right field. Bowen gets to it and sends it in. A 2-out single for Bohm the other way. And the inning will continue for Bryson Stott, who is the only guy to have scored a run in this game.
Four-seam fastball up and out over. Just a nice little piece of hitting right there by Alec Bohm. Not sure if Walker was trying to elevate it by design or not, but either way, Bohm just reached out for it up in the top part of the zone and lining it in right.
Stott, a left-handed batter. And he will take a first pitch cutter for a strike, 0-1. Stott began last inning with a double, moved to third on a Real Muto flyout, and then scored on the Garcia double. That is the entirety of the scoring summary here tonight. 1-0 Phillies in the bottom of the sixth. 0-1 is way outside. Night game at Wrigley, by the way, A's and Cubs. How about the Cubs started 27-12, but since then they are 5-17. Weird year on the north side.
Pitching issues. They're one of the candidates to possibly be going after Scoreboard.
1-1, and a big swing and a miss, and he got a big piece of the catcher Duran. I don't know if it was his keypad. Yeah. His keypad ended up going all the way behind home plate on the grass. His PitchCom keypad, Duran's. And Real Muto, the on-deck batter, picked it up and then just started smashing all the buttons before handing it back to him. Sure, Buehler got a nice earful. I mentioned this the other day, but no matter who is catching, the voice that the pitchers and the infielders will all hear on PitchCom, Luis Camposano. He is the voice of PitchCom for the San Diego Padres. 1-2. And Stott swings, hits it on the ground to the right side. Fernando gets in front of it, slings it to first in time, and the inning is over. 6 really strong frames from Walker Buehler. Head to the 7th in Philadelphia. Padres trail 1-0 on the Padres Radio Network.
Thought it'd be golden, crossing the line and don't look back. Think I was broken, I needed some time to clear my head. 'Cause I've made all the mistakes and I've dealt with the heartbreak, but I think that I found my way. 'Cause I've been sinking like a stone. Carolina, take me home. Nothing's ever really broken. I won't let you go. 'Cause I'm finding my way right back to you. I'll find my way back to you. I see a river floating its way out to the sea. I can remember carving our names onto that tree. And just wanna see you, 'cause you will never know just how much I've been missing home. 'Cause I've been sinking like
Only 2 hits tonight. They've only had one other guy reach base. 3 total base runners in the first 6 innings against Sanchez. He's only thrown 70 pitches. Lefty to lefty, Sheets will take. And a fastball strike, 0-1. First base runner was Rodolfo Duran, the number 9 hitter, who drew a 2-out walk after falling behind 0-2 in the third. Then Manny Machado had a 1-out single in the fourth. Ty France a lead single in the fifth. That's it. Here's the 0-1. Sheets swings and misses, strike 2. Phillies ahead 1-0. So work to be done here if you don't want to waste what has to this point been just a marvelous pitching performance by Walker Buehler. But of course, Christopher Sanchez right now is on literally a historic run in terms of scoreless innings. He's brought his ERA down now 1.37. Here's the 0-2. Sheets swings, gets a piece, and able to ticket foul behind home plate. Still no balls, 2 strikes.
This has been a true pitcher's duel tonight, Jesse. Both guys with just excellent stuff. It was a great matchup that we saw 7 days ago, and this one's even better. Both guys bringing their A game to this ball game.
No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And Sheets takes low and outside. Sanchez looked annoyed with himself after that pitch. Ball and 2 strikes. The big lefty delivers, and Sheets swings and misses at a changeup. Strike 3. Number 8 for Sanchez, and 1 out here in the 7th.
Well, in case you're wondering, does Sanchez start to show some negative effects with familiarity 3rd time through the lineup, or as the pitch count goes higher? And the answer is no. Almost no difference in the batting average against, on-base percentage against. Really no difference in terms of home runs. He's only allowed 3 all season long, so you're just going to have to keep battling him, Jesse.
First pitch on the way, and low ball 1 to Xander Bogart. One out, nobody on, down 1-0 in the 7th. And Bogarts looks at a changeup strike that evens the count 1-1. In 2 trips today, Bogarts has struck out and flied to right. Sanchez will pause and deal. And the pitch banged on the ground to shortstop, backhanded by Turner. He steps towards first, and the throw is in time. 2 down in the top of the 7th inning.
Changeup. 8 out of the 11 pitches that he threw last inning to retire the Padres in order were changeups, and he's used it for the strikeout and the ground out here in the 7th.
Base is empty for Ty France. He's got 1 of the 2 hits. A lead single in the 5th inning. Padres were not able to advance him beyond first base. First pitch. And France takes down the middle for a strike, 0-1. If you're already sort of thinking ahead to a potential complete game, Sanchez preparing to throw his 80th pitch here. He has gone the distance once, technically, this season. 108 pitches in Pittsburgh. Here's a sharp grounder fair up the third baseline. That'll roll all the way towards the left field corner. France is on his way to second base. And the Padres, with their first extra base hit of the night, have the tying run in scoring position. 2 outs in the 7th. Ty France a double, his 2nd hit of the game.
Came, of course, on a changeup. This one not dropping down quite as much as Sanchez was hoping it would. A little bit middle of the plate. Ty France still out in front of it, rolls over the top of it, but able to keep it fair just inside the chalk.
Now Jackson Merrill, who does not have a hit tonight, but had 2 against Sanchez last Wednesday in San Diego. Base hit could tie this game. First pitch coming. Merrill takes, and a fastball strike, 0-1. Padres with a runner in scoring position right here, right now. First chance of the game. Do not have a hit this year against the Phillies with a runner in scoring position. 0 for 27. Next pitch hit hard through the left side and a base hit. France is rounding third on his way. Marsh's throw to the plate will not be in time. The Padres have tied the game, and the streak is over. Jackson Merrill brings home Ty France. And the big crowd here in Philadelphia on their feet for Christopher Sanchez, who has given up a run for the first time since the last day of April.
Absolutely historic run, and the Philly fans here giving him a standing ovation, as they should. Still on their feet. Now, what a plate appearance by Jackson Merrill. The same thing that he did to him in the first matchup, Jesse. A fastball inside. He's able to keep his hands inside and get it through the left side for that base hit. Vintage Jackson Merrill to break up the streak. and tie this ball game.
Now back to work. Jace Bowen, the batter, and he will take a changeup, strike one. Fifth longest streak in Major League history in terms of consecutive scoreless innings. He hops above Bob Gibson here tonight. Pitch to Bowen, swung on a line to left field. Marsh is there. He will make the catch. The side is retired, but the streak is over. And most importantly, the game is tied. Time to stretch in Philadelphia, 1-1 on the Padres Radio Network.
It's a bird, it's a plane. Smile is me though. Money making trend in this thing, dropping C-notes. Yeah, I talk real big and I walk real big. Ran that mouse, running to that money I get. Now baby pose on him, gon' pop it like that. You know he broke, baby girl, he ain't got it like that. I go 9 to 9, rain or shine. When I clock in, yeah, I win every time. Tell him God bless me every day. I tell him run it back. Yeah, I hustle 7 different ways and then I run it back. Headed straight to the bank, like run it back. Getting so much bang, 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 run it back. God bless me every day. I tell him run it back. Yeah, I hustle 7 different ways and then I run it back. Headed straight to the bank, like run it back. Getting so much bang, 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 run it back. You know I'm running it, I'm never stopping, I'm getting it. Call me Gabby Douglas, I see money, I'm flipping it. And girl, you know I'm kissing it. You know I ain't missing it. You gon' have to call out or work the way I'm hitting. Now baby pose on him, gon' pop it like that. You know he broke, baby girl, he ain't got it like that. I go 9 to 9, rain or shine. When I clock in, yeah, I win every time. Tell him God bless me every day. I tell him run it back. Yeah, I hustle 7 different ways and then I run it back. Headed straight to the bank, like run it back. Getting so much bang, 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 run it back. God bless me every day. I tell him run it back. Yeah, I hustle 7 different ways and then I run it back. Headed straight to the bank, like run it back. Getting so much bang, 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 run it back. We outside, we getting money like that. We pointing out and say we run it like that. I said we outside, we get money like that. We point it down and say we run it like that. Now baby pose on him, gon' pop it like that. You know he broke, baby girl, he ain't got it like that. I go 9 to 9, rain or shine. When I clock in, yeah, I win every time. Tell him God bless me every day. I tell him run it back. Yeah, I hustle 7 different ways and then I run it back. Headed straight to the bank, like run it back. Getting so much bang, 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 run it back. God bless me every day. I tell him run it back. Yeah, I hustle 7 different ways and then I run it back. Headed straight to the bank, like run it back. Getting so much bang, 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 run it back.
For over 70 years, Sid's Carpet Barn has stood alone as San Diego's flooring leader. From premium high-end choices to top-quality budget-friendly options, Sid's has you covered. Visit any Sid's or sidscarpet.com. Against the Phillies, it matters in terms of the result of this game. 1-1 as JT Realmuto digs into the right-handed batter's box. Feels all the better to do that to tie the game. Check swing foul, and it's straight back 0-1. Obviously, you end a streak like that, you feel good about it, but if it was 6-0 when it happens, it's a kind of a different vibe.
It wasn't a bad pitch by Sanchez either. He located his fastball in. Just a great piece of hitting by Jackson Merrill to stay inside it.
0-1. Realmuto has his knees buckled by a slider. Takes it for a strike on the outside edge. It's 0-2. Really neat moment, though, the way Sanchez was recognized by this big crowd at Citizens Bank Park when the run scored. The 0-2 pitch. Realmuto takes low and outside.
I'm trying to remember the last time that I saw a standing ovation like that for that long, Jesse. Let alone for a pitching performance.
I'm right there with you. Can't think of one. Here's the 1-2. And that is popped up foul out of play left side. But the Ty France double with 2 outs, followed by the Jackson Merrill RBI single, has done it. That's something to smile about. Brought to you by Smile Spirits. Premium vodka cocktails, refreshing flavor, not a seltzer, no fake aftertaste. It's a real cocktail. Smile Spirits, a vacation in a can. Available at Total Wine, Crisp Markets, and Baja Ricks. Now to the business at hand. 1-1 in the 7th inning. Pitch to Realmuto. Taken in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Meanwhile, for Walker Buehler, a quality start. Padres had not had one at any point in their last 13 games. Two and two. Adam delivers. Real Muto swings, hits it in the air, deep to left center. Sheets is back at the wall, looking up. It's going to go. Long home run to left center field for JT Real Muto. Got on top of a fastball that was probably up and out of the zone and drilled it 422 feet over the big wall in left center field. His third home run of the season, and the Phillies go right back ahead. It's 2-1.
Oh, that hurts. Jason Adam has a 14-game scoreless streak of his own broken up right there. Jesse on the fastball upstairs, up and out over. Now Real Muto able to get the arms extended. Oh, that's heartbreaking after he just did everything he could to battle to get back into this ball game. Didn't get a chance to enjoy it for very long.
Until a moment ago, the only Philly run of the night. He'll take, and a slider strike on the inside corner, 0-1. So the Padres will come to bat in the 8th inning, once again trailing. The 0-1. Garcia hammers one deep but foul up the left field line. That will find the upper deck. Meanwhile, there is not anybody throwing in the Philly bullpen. Sanchez had 84 pitches. Now, once an out is recorded, that might change. 0-2, swing and a miss. Garcia strikes out, one away in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Yeah, that's as quiet as a bullpen can be. I mean, it's not even anybody standing up, stirring around, taking a jacket off, looking where their glove is, grabbing a ball out of the bag to have it ready. Nothing going on down there. Those guys just sitting with their arm crossed, watching Sanchez do his thing.
The guy is taking on full ace stats right now. Indeed. Crawford, left-hand hitter, swings to the first pitch, punches it in the air, foul. At a play left side, 0-1.
We're getting some big swings off of Jason Adams this inning, Jeff.
Crawford 0 for 2 against Buehler, who again was outstanding. Pitch is high, 1-1.
Can't say enough about the effort by Walker Buehler tonight, Jesse. And it's not just one out of the blue. This has been a progression of Walker Buehler getting stronger and stronger over the last 4 or 5 outings, culminating tonight in this best outing of the year.
Crawford takes outside ball 2. Yeah, that's what's been neat about watching Buehler. You have seen the progress. It's felt like something new. Not to say it won't be a game of shoots and ladders at times, but there has been progression. 2-1. Crawford knocks it right off the end of his bat foul into the backstop. 2-2 now on the speedy center fielder.
Well, the progression has been in multiple facets also, Jesse. At first, it was just getting him to get the mechanics down and to be able to consistently execute him, you know, as the game went on. That was step one. We saw that, and we've seen that more consistently, which is why he's been able to go deeper in the games. But tonight, it took the next step where he had at least 2 miles an hour more on all of his pitches to go with better command and the endurance.
2-2. Crawford swings and misses. Strike 3. The old Jason Adam changeup. Back-to-back strikeouts after the Real Muto homer. 2 down, bases empty. Schwarber coming up. Phillies ahead 2-1 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Spend your summer with the Padres at the next homestand. The Mets and Reds are coming to Petco Park Friday through Wednesday. Bring your friends and cheer on the Pods at America's #1 ballpark. Visit Padres.com/tickets. Schwarber 0 for 2. We'll check and take a slider for a called strike. 0-1. The pitch on the way. Schwarber sends it in the air, high and deep to right center field. Bowen is back at the wall. He will watch, and it will go. Kyle Schwarber with his league-leading 23rd home run of the season. For the Phillies, it's their second of the inning, and it's now 3-1.
Change it down the middle, Jesse. Kyle Schwarber doesn't miss too many of those, and he doesn't miss this one.
Kyle Schwarber having the complete Kyle Schwarber night. 2 strikeouts, an intentional walk, and now a homer. Here's Trey Turner 0 for 3, and Thrill Bueller's no longer in there. Turns his shoulder away from a slider, 1-0.
Schwarber has really done a great job over the years, Jesse, of shortening up his swing without losing his power, and that's what allows him to just stay back a little longer and not be fooled by off-speed pitches.
1-0 is swung on and missed. Base is empty, 2 outs. Foul ball straight back, 1-2. Only the 3rd time in Jason Adams' career he's given up 2 home runs in 1 appearance.
Fairness to Jason, he's been used a lot, Jesse. This is his 5th outing in the last 8 ball games.
One and 2 to Turner. And he reaches for it, bangs it on the ground up the middle. Backhand attempt by Tatis. He knocked it down, but he was never going to get the speedy Turner. Kept it on the infield, but it's a base hit. First of the night for the Phillies shortstop. 2-out single will keep it going here for Bryce Harper. And with that workload in mind, I am sure Craig Stammen is going to come out, make a pitching change, and go to the lefty, Wandy Peralta. So after a couple of homers, a couple of strikeouts, and now an infield hit, there'll be a pitching change here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Phillies ahead 3-1 on the Padres Radio Network.
Hey friends, it's Woodsy here. San Diego Water is rock hard and trashing your pipes.
KitchenandBath.com to book your free consultation today. Runner on first, 2 outs for Harper. 3-1 Phillies in the 7th. And a first pitch changeup for a strike, 0-1. Meanwhile, Brad Keller, the right-hander, has started throwing in the Philly bullpen. So maybe the Padres will rid themselves of Sanchez. Pitch on the way, and a big swing. Foul ball at the plate, 0-2 on Harper. Bryce 3 for 9 in his career against Wandy with a home run. He's also walked 3 times against him. That's a 500 on base percentage. Pitch here, muscled foul in the air. Over the screen behind home plate, still 0-2. Harper drew a walk in the first inning against Buehler. And since then has grounded out and struck out. All of that against the Padres starter, who again was outstanding. The Phillies have hit a pair of solo homers here against Jason Adam in the 7th. Now Peralta, the 0-2 is low. A ball and 2 strikes. Padres broke through against Christopher Sanchez in the top of the 7th inning. First team to score against him since the end of April. Pitch is fouled back. Almost that exact same spot. Still 1-2. Tied the game at 1 on Jackson Merrill's RBI single in the top of the inning. And it was neat. I looked down to the Padre dugout after Merrill tied the game with that base hit. And I mean, Manny was riding the railing of the dugout like this was Game 7 of the NLCS. These guys are locked in. Here's a throw to first, and Turner back without a tag from Ty France. Well, there wasn't going to be a tag from Ty France, and then Ty kind of playfully put the baseball in his bare hand and put it on top of the third time. 1-2 to Harper. Peralta comes home, and another foul ball behind home plate.
A little extra velo for Wandy Peralta tonight as well, Jesse, hitting 97, 98. Normally see him in the 95, 96 range.
An adrenaline-inducing matchup against Bryce Harper. The 1-2 pitch. Harper hits it firmly right to France, down to a knee at first base. He will kick the bag and end the inning, but the damage done. Paris solo homers here in the 7th has put the Phillies right back ahead. We'll go to the 8th inning. Padres trail 3-1 on the Padres Radio Network.
Pixie, she came at me, dog, I'm not a pick me. All of that, miss me. I offer her water and gum, I'm just like a Uber driver. Climb over top the middle console and then I scoop beside her. Asking me for rice, yeah, we'll figure it out. Oh, you want a place we can...
They will face Brad Keller, new pitcher. First pitch swinging, Samad Taylor making his Padre debut. Ground ball to short, bare hand play, Trey Turner throws him out. One pitch, one out. And Samad Taylor can't believe it. A couple of elite speed guys, one taking a hit away from another. And Trey Turner knew his scouting report. Figured if he went to the glove, probably would lose the opportunity to throw Samad out. So he went to the bare hand, made the play, one down.
Yeah, that was a great call on his part, Jesse. Realizing that I've got a speedster out there, the only chance I've got. It's risky because the ball could just bounce out of my bare hand, but he was able to snare it and get it done.
Now Fernando, first pitch swinging, will line one into right center, a base hit. First knock of the night for Tatis. And now the tying run will come to the plate with one out here in the 8th. So Brad Keller relieves Christopher Sanchez. He went 7 for the first time in forever. He allowed a run. 4 hits, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts through 84 pitches. Pitching change brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your 15-minute drive-through oil change. Taylor hit for Duran, so Fermin will come in to catch in the bottom of the inning. Here's Miguel Andujar, first pitch. And he will take a strike with a slider on the outside part of the plate, nothing more.
Well, the Padres have sure seen enough of Keller lately. He pitched twice in the previous series at Petco. We saw him last night as well.
The 0-1. Swing and a foul tip held, strike 2.
Padres did score a run against him the second time they faced him at Petco, so maybe they can do the same thing back-to-back nights here at Citizens Bank.
Fernando leading at first. Now the 0-2 pitch, and that's lined into right center at a base hit. Stott lunged for it, couldn't get there. Fernando trying to go first to third on Crawford, and he will. Padres are set up. Runners on the corners, and one out for Manny Machado.
And Duhar getting a sweeper up and out over the plate. Doesn't get greedy with it, just lines it into right field. Take your base hit, keep the line moving. Padres with the rally.
Real Muto will step out in front of home plate, go through the defensive assignments. Padres down by 2. Go-ahead run will come to the plate here in the top of the 8th inning. And Duhar at first, Tatis at third. Pitch on the way. And Machado will take outside, ball 1. Machado has never had a hit against Brad Keller. 0 for 8, 2 strikeouts. And he takes low, 2 balls and no strikes. They faced off in the 8th inning last night. Manny popped to short against him. And Duhar had a hit against him yesterday. That was the play, though, in which Tatis was thrown out. Here's the 2-0. Manny, big swing, fouls it back. And a little bit frustrated with himself. Got a slider he thought he could handle. Kind of in or third and knocked it into the netting behind home plate.
Yeah, that's the one that you want to drive out of the ballpark, and Manny was thinking the same thing. He just came out of his shoes right there, and as soon as he fouled it back, shaking his head.
2-1 is taken inside. 3 balls and a strike. Gavin Sheets waiting on deck. Runners on the corners, 1 away. Down 3-1 in the 8th inning. Here's the pitch. Manny, big swing, fouls it on the ground behind home plate, and that'll fill it up 3-2. Now Machado will call time and back out of the box. And Duhar at first is not the fastest, not the slowest, but not the fastest. Machado is prone to the double play, but the Padres have had so many guys thrown out stealing lead. Not running, and a foul ball back into the net. It'll stay 3-2.
Another slider up in the zone. Manny's had his opportunities. Let's see if he can cash in on another one here, Jess.
Three and 2 again. Manny swings, launches it in the air, foul up the left field line. It'll end up deep into the second level here in Philadelphia. Padres trailing 3-1, but they've had back-to-back singles to put guys on the corner in the 8th inning. And Machado already 1 for 3 on the night. He's battling away against Brad Keller. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Manny swings and misses, strike 3, 2 down. And now Gavin Sheets will come up to face a guy he is very, very familiar with. He and Keller have gone head-to-head a bunch. Gavin, of course, previously with the White Sox. Keller, earlier in his career, spent a lot of time in Kansas City. Sheets 3 for 14 against him, but 6 walks in his career against Keller. And now pitching coach Caleb Cotham is going to go out and talk about it. Visit to the mound brought to you by the Window Depot. Low prices every day on windows, doors, cabinets, countertops, and flooring. All in stock and ready to go. Visit a showroom in National City or check them out at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store. These two guys were also very briefly teammates 2 years ago. Keller spent a little bit of time with the White Sox before he was traded to Boston. Mound visit is over. Padres have first and third, 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning.
You just always hoping those mound visits that your pitching coach has something positive to say. The last thing you want is to hear him say, whatever you do, don't hang him a slider right here. You never want to have those negative thoughts put into your head. That was a long chat. Let's see what kind of a strategy they were able to put together against Gavin Sheets.
Gavin 0 for 3 on the night. All of that, of course, was against Sanchez. Now getting to face a right-handed pitcher. First one on the way is way inside, down by the feet. 96 miles an hour, and it's ball 1. Gavin Sheets has hit 10 home runs this year. All 10 have come against right-handed pitchers. One and 0 the pitch. Sheets takes outside, ball 2. Gavin has also had a flair for the dramatic. So many of the home runs he has hit, not just this year, but last year as well as a Padre, have been late-inning home runs, go-ahead home runs, game-tying home runs. 2-0 pitch. Sheets takes low, ball 3. Xander Bogaerts waiting on deck. 3-0 to Sheets, who hasn't seen much close. The pitch is high and inside, ball 4. I think we may know what the topic of that conversation was. So Sheets didn't really get anything to hit, and now the bases are loaded, 2 outs for Xander Bogaerts. Bogaerts has also seen Keller a lot over the years. Also has walked a lot against Keller over the years. First pitch is inside, ball 1. Five career walks against him. Here's the pitch. Xander takes, and a slider for a called strike, 1-1. Xander did not face him in the game last night. Padres down 3-1 in the 8th, but they've got the bases loaded, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Bogaerts fouls it straight back on a line, and now 1-2.
The best command pitch he has so far tonight, Jesse, is that fastball to the glove side, both away to the righties and into the lefties. Let's see if he makes a mistake with a slider.
Runners lead at all 3. The pitch came in and hit him. A bases loaded hit by pitch. Tatis will come in to score to make it a 1-run game. Xander, an RBI the hard way, went down to a knee. Now he's unstrapping the ankle guard there as they come out to check on him.
They've gone 4-seamers away and painted them. They tried to run a 2-seamer, it looked like, inside. And Keller completely lost control of that one. Boy, what a costly pitch by Keller.
97 miles an hour, came up and in and caught him, almost right directly on the left elbow, maybe funny bone. Maybe even the meat of it above the elbow. Either way, no fun. Padres do get a run, though. And now the tying run 90 feet away. Ty France, first pitch swinging, grounder to second, little flip, and Turner hits the bag to force Bogaerts and end the inning. Padres get 1. They are within 1, and we'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Now the Phillies 3 and the Padres 2 on the Padres Radio Network.
to the game, married to the game. I'm married to the game, married to the game. I'm married to the game, married to the game. Put me in the game, cuz. I'm married to the game, married to the game. I'm married to the game, married to the game. I'm married to the game, married to the game. I'm married to the game, married to the game. Put me in the game, coach, I'm going for a touchdown. I'm grinding every day, I'm even grinding when the sun down. I let off 22, they started running Derrick Henry. I know they was surprised, they ain't think I had it in me. I'm married to the game, married to the game. I'm married to the game, married to the game. I'm married to the game, married to the game. I'm married to the game, married to the game. Put me in the game, coach, I'm going for a touchdown. I'm grinding every day, I'm even grinding when the sun down. I let off 22, they started running Derrick Henry. I know they was surprised, they ain't think I had it in me. I move like the president, I keep it set.
Runner on first, nobody out for Bohm. 1 out of 3 with a single. He swings at the first pitch, bounces it to short. Bogarts flips to second one. Tatis's turn to first is in time. And a double play. Fernando showing off the arm. And just like that, 2 outs and nobody aboard in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Bohm now has grounded into a double play 3 out of his last 7 times up.
Great job by Bogey and Toddy to turn that one. Xander got that ball as quickly as he possibly could over to Toddy, and then Toddy threw it, about 97 miles an hour over to Ty France.
Goodness gracious. Now lefty to lefty, Bryson Stott. 2 outs, nobody aboard, and he will take low outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Joan Duran is throwing in the Philly bullpen. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It is a strike, 1-1. Padres have seen more than enough of Duran in the last week and a half. Mention all these close, low-scoring games, all won by the Phillies. So their closer's gotten all his work against the Padres. Picked up his 13th save of the season last night. Final score was 3-2. That's the score right now. Ground ball to second base. Rolls right to Fernando. He's got it. And Tatis has thrown a first in time. So that's it for the bottom of the 8th inning. Last chance to dance coming up. And to the 9th inning in Philadelphia. It is again the Phillies 3 and the Padres 2 on the Padres Radio Network.
But I can be distant, immigrant child just doing it different. Not like them, I bring the wisdom. Yeah, no manager, no assistant. I'm still your favorite MC's favorite rapper. That's why I deal with chatter. MC barring, lyrical matter. Grew up in London, sausage and batter. Looking all baff like yo, he's got the street money, he's got the dough. How you gonna MC, got no flow though? How you gonna compete, yeah, with your bro? Somehow your writing comes from a ghost. Don't really know about them ones, no. I keep it moving, eyes on the ghost. Always, I do me, they're doing the most. Life is mad, life is rough. Yeah, never I'm getting on with stuff. Project planning, never be enough. When you're coming from another planet, it can be tough. But we move, transform the music, making a movie. Tap into the Django. Half of the CEOs couldn't even handle. Heart on my sleeve like a bangle. People, the pain and family shambles. When I come for the beat, I ambush. When I come for the bars, I ambush. And I told you about them angles. Making them drip like wax in a candle. Making them rip like bottom of the sandal, yes. I'm a cut from a different cloth, oh yes.
Oh yes, oh yes. From the mud that we came, but we shining. I'm saying, oh yeah.
Yeah, we came from the mud, oh yeah. Never done with the talk, oh yeah. And we came from the mud, oh yeah. Never done with the talk, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'ma make that flip, don't care. I'ma make that flip, don't care. I'ma make that flip, don't care.
Oh yeah. Oh
I'ma came from the mud, oh yeah. And we done with the talk, oh there, oh there.
Who you wanna be, tryna be like me? I ain't been broke since 2018. Just woke up, still living my dream. Got big plan, I keep big schemes. I ain't too worried about no new car, no chain, no clothes. I'm too focused on all my goals. Out my way, somewhere to go. I've been in my feelings, my center piece, it was under attack. I quit all the drinking, I quit all the smoking, I'm bringing it back. You thinking it's cap, but really it's facts. They thought I would lose it, they thought I would lost, but I found me a map. Get them a map or something. These boys tryna rap or something. These boys tryna act or something. Only thing I hear is capping from them. They ain't really been asking nothing. So nobody get a pass or nothing. Nobody get a pass from me. Oh, you think that we're the same cause we both rhyme words. You ain't in the same class as me. Got the same CAG as me? Make the same cash as me? I'm numero uno, I've been number one. If you go asking me, hey, I tell you it's facts. You tell me it's cap.
Just maybe relax, just maybe relax, just maybe relax.
From the mud that we came, but we shining. I'm saying, oh yeah.
Jace Bowen up yesterday from El Paso. Samad Taylor up today from El Paso. And Craig Stammen said before the game they want to just have a little bit of havoc out on the bases. They're going to get their chance here in the 9th inning against the Philly closer, trailing by 1. First things first, pitch to Merrill, swing and a miss. No balls and a strike. Jackson an RBI single back in the 7th inning. That ended Christopher Sanchez's scoreless inning streak. Drive of the game brought to you by Jeep. The Jeep Declaration of Deals, they're pledging their allegiance to the American people. Fastball up and away, 1-1. Teheran obviously has elite stuff, one of the best closers in the game. But the Padres have seen an awful lot of him as of late. So is there a temptation if you're Teheran to maybe try some different things?
Probably not. You throw 100 miles an hour and have a nasty split finger, stick with it, I would say.
Good to be you. Pitch is high, 2-1.
Right? Yeah, it's worked for him. I mean, he was slamming the door in Minnesota. Phillies did a great job of solving their closer dilemma last year by getting him over here to Philly. He's been dominant again this year, Jesse, and that stuff just plays. Yeah, you've seen him 3 times now recently, but familiarity doesn't really help him a whole lot when it's 100 miles an hour and a nasty split.
Jackson led off against him in the 9th inning last night and struck out. 2-1 pitch is outside, ball 3. Each team has just one ABS challenge remaining. Padres down 3-2 in the 9th. Meanwhile, Bryce Johnson has stepped out on deck to hit for Bowen, who struck out against him to end the game yesterday. 3-1. Merrill swings, strokes it on a line into right field. Garcia coming in and able to make the catch, 1 away. Little bit of a false step for Garcia at the very start there, but able to make up for it.
Quality at bat right there by Jackson Merrill. Nothing more he could do. Was patient. Finally got a splitty. A little bit down and in. A sweet spot, but a good swing on it. Barreled it up just right at the right fielder.
So the switch hitting Johnson now to hit for Bowen, who swung and missed at 3 straight sweepers to end the game last night against Iran. Obviously a bunt threat. Phillies know that. Bohm is in just behind the grass cutout at third base. First pitch on the way. Johnson takes at the bottom of the zone. A called strike. 0-1. First appearance of this series, did not appear in Washington. 6 for 32 at the dish. The pitch. And a foul ball off the mask of the catcher, Real Muto. 0-2 on the pinch hitter. The only action Bryce had against the Phillies back in San Diego last week was a pinch run appearance in the second game of that series. Behind 0-2. Trying to get the tying run aboard. Here's the pitch. Johnson takes way outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now the 1-2 pitch. And Johnson takes high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Teheran looking in. He threw only 14 pitches last night. The 2-2 is fouled back over the net behind home plate, and the count will remain even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Padres trailing 3-2 here in the top of the 9th. 1 out and nobody on. Bryce Johnson pinch hitting for Jace Bowen.
I'm surprised Johnson hasn't seen one of those split fingers yet. It's been all fastballs except for 1 knuckle curve.
Here is pitch 6, and Johnson takes outside. That'll fill the count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The job obviously is to get aboard one way or another. Teheran will step back and deal. Pitch 7 on the way. Johnson swings and misses at the splitter. Strike 3 and 2 down here in the 9th.
It was interesting. You wait till the last pitch to bust out his put-away pitch. He tried change-ups. He's tried knuckle curves. He tried to overthrow a few fastballs. But when push came to shove on that 3-2, nasty splitty for strike 3.
So now Samad Taylor making his Padre debut here tonight. Pinch hit last inning. Stayed in to play left field. Hit a ground ball to short. Trey Turner made the great bare hand play to throw him out. First pitch on the way. Taylor takes in on the hands. Nearly clipped him. Saw Samad in spring training, played 17 games in Cactus League play. Last year at AAA Tacoma for the Mariners, stole 44 bases, just to give you an idea of the speed. 1-0. 5'8" Salon Taylor waits. The pitch. Swung on and missed. 1 ball, 1 strike from Joan Duran. Great numbers at El Paso this year for Taylor. The 1-1 is on the inside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He's trying to challenge it. I think he waited too long. Yeah, Hunter Wendelstadt's not going to give it to him. And the Padre bench is all over the home plate umpire. They can't believe that he's not letting him challenge it. But you know what? It was a strike, so all's well that ends well, I guess.
Yeah, pitch was a strike. I'm surprised he didn't give him a chance to look. Maybe he just didn't see him tapping his head at first.
1-2 to Taylor. Duran delivers, and Taylor swings and misses. Strike 3. Ball game is over for the second consecutive night. A 3-2 Philly win. And for the second consecutive week, they will go for the sweep. Take a break, come back, give you some final thoughts and the totals on the Padres Radio Network.